Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So, Alhamdulillah, welcome to session 6, where we're going to be talking about the 4 types of freedom. So, we're just going to wait for a few more people to come on, inshallah, and because we started immediately at just after 2 o'clock. So, just going to wait for a few more people. So, as soon as you come, please tell us where you're from again and whereabouts you're from in the world. How old you are, which year you're in school, and also if you listened to the previous sessions, the previous 5 sessions that we've had. So yeah, how old are you, where you're from, and have you listened to the previous 5 sessions? And we'll wait for a few more people and we're going to get straight into it. Make sure you've got your notepad with you today. You're going to need it, inshallah. Okay, wonderful. Nearly 12. Okay, nice. Very good age. Good age to be learning these things, I have to say. And whereabouts are you from? So we've already got nice 7 people. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Mo B07. It's nice to see you. Whereabouts are you from? Please tell us. And inshallah, we'll get straight into it very briefly, very shortly. York. I like York. It's a beautiful place. So my name is Zakaria. I watch with my sister. I'm from 13 from Preston. Wonderful. Welcome, Zakaria, and your sister. Wa alaikum salam to you both. Zarina, 16. New York City, mashallah, wonderful. Other side of the world from us. Is that Nottingham? Sure. I'm 14 from Canada. Welcome, Canada, mashallah. Assalamu alaikum. Smile Valley. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So, are you guys ready? We are going to get straight into it, inshallah. The 4 types of freedom. So we're going to be recapping it a lot. So anyone who joins us a little bit later, it's not an issue. Now, I think I have mentioned the 4 types of freedom before. So our series is based upon this. What would I have wanted to know if I could go back and tell myself, my younger self, these are the things that it's worth knowing. You should know this. So, and it's the same with Tanim, and it's the same with many important concept, very important. So the 4 types of freedom, we're going to go into a lot about 3 of them. And the 4th one may be in the near future. So this first one, can anyone tell me one of the types of freedom I've mentioned before? I'm going to give you a clue. And the clue is you can, easy clue. Okay, you could do it right now with this coronavirus going on. And the coronavirus wouldn't affect you. Okay, wonderful. So Feroza Seth remembers some of them. Wonderful, wonderful. Can anyone else think which one am I referring to? So Feroza's mentioned, or Zachariah's mentioned choice, time, geographical, financial. So very good memory, mashallah. Which one am I referring to? You're able to work right now, even though the coronavirus is still going on. So people who are able to do that, it doesn't affect them. You know, going to a workplace doesn't affect them. So choice, it's good try, Lucky Lavender. Choice, we'll talk about choice shortly. I'll tell you that it's not choice, but that's a good one. Okay, wonderful. So Feroza Seth thinks it's geographical. Who else thinks it's geographical? Because right now everyone's at home. Most of us, we're working from home. And if you can work from home, if you have this ability, this option to work from home, then going to a workplace doesn't affect you. You're at home, you're at workplace, you can work from both. So Feroza, mashallah, you are correct. It's geographical freedom is the first one. Okay, so I'm going to write down what geographical freedom is, and I want you to write down the exact same things that I write down. So geographical freedom. So hopefully you can all see the flip chart. So geographical, I'm not going to write the whole thing. I'll go on, I'll write it. Okay. So what does geographical freedom mean? It means to be able to, so I'm just going to shorten that, to be able to what? Who can fill in the missing spaces for me? To be able to something from something you want. What's this word? What do you think this word is? To be able to something from wherever you want. So have a go, think about it. We've already talked about it. We're talking about making money, financial freedom, all of these types of things. So what is this one going to be? What are people struggling with at home right now that you're going to be doing in the near future, inshallah? Exactly, it's work. Okay, to be able to work from, and if it's geographical freedom, what must it be? What must this be? To be able to work from something you want. It can't be when you want, because when you want is not to do with geographical. It can't be. It can't be. Okay, so someone's got it. Zarina from, is that NK? So Zarina, wonderful, wherever. Okay, so to be able to work from wherever you want, wherever. To be able to work from wherever you want. That is geographical freedom. Now, just think about that, how wonderful that can be, to be able to work from wherever you want, whether it's at home, imagine you're on a holiday. I once went to Egypt and I did 2 hours work in the morning, and then the rest of the day was a nice little holiday. So it's a nice thing to be able to do. Some people, they like to leave work at work and don't bring it home. And that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's where you like to have work in one place and social time in another. Remember this wonderful saying, when vocation meets a vacation, you won't work a single day in your life. So vocation is work, vacation is holiday. When vocation and vacation meet, when they both become one, you won't work a single day in your life. What that means is you love to do what you do for work. And when you really love that, you'll never feel like it's work. So you'll enjoy doing it. So you can go on holiday and still do some work in the morning or in the evening or whenever. You can still do that because you love to do what you do. So what a nice thing to be able to have, that you can go on holiday and still do some work. So geographical freedom, you can work from anywhere in the world. Yeah, anywhere in the world. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Sadia Siddiqa, Ibrahim salam, and hello, frickin' fricks. Hello, nice day. Okay, wonderful. So that's geographical freedom. What's the other type of freedom that we, what do you think is the second one that I'm going to talk about? What's this second freedom? So we've got geographical freedom. What other one is really, really important? This is, you can work from wherever you want. What do you think we might talk a little bit about next? Okay, so we've got a few more, and we're not going to talk about financial freedom. There's only 2 left. Only 2 left. Which one should we talk about? Time freedom, or what's the other one? Choice freedom. Exactly. Wonderful. So let's talk about time freedom. What does that mean? Okay, it's very similar to this. So the sentence is almost exactly the same. So who can tell me what the missing word is? To be able to work? To be able to work? Everything I write down on the flip chart, I want you to write down as well. Okay, so everything that's written here, please make sure you write it. To be able to work whatever time you want. Good. You can work anytime you want. When? Okay, excellent. To be able to work whenever you want. So now think about that. What a wonderful thing. Some people to work whenever you want. What does that mean? That means that if I want to work at nighttime, I can work at nighttime. I don't have to work in the day. I can work in the evening or in the, let's say that there's a little baby and you can work around the baby. You can work around the baby's sleep. So when the baby's sleeping, you can work then. Or when let's say the mother is needing to have some sleep and she's tired, and the father might take care of the baby sometimes throughout the night and might get on with some work in that time. And then when the baby sleeps after Fajr time, around 4-5 a.m., then the father might go to sleep that time. So he's able to work at nighttime. And you can arrange your life around your family. What a wonderful thing to be able to do. Another example might be work whenever you want. Okay, you're on holiday. So you're on holiday and you can work in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. You can choose where to put it. So not only is there some geographical freedom, but you can put the work hours anytime in that 24 hours of your choice. You can slot it in. So this means that you fit working around your life. You don't fit your life around your work. So that's a wonderful thing. I'm going to say it again. You can fit your work around your life. You don't have to fit your life around your work. Okay, because so I hope you've written that down, because I'm not going to write that as well. It's a wonderful saying. Fit your work around your life, not your life around your work. That's time freedom. That's time freedom. So like Ramadan is coming. It's literally 2 weeks away. We're going to be fasting. What some people struggle with in Ramadan is that they are, it's not really the fast and the food, it's the sleep, and I always like to say to people, especially youth, that try to rearrange your sleep. If you get enough sleep, then the fast will be a lot easier. Now, I used to be a teacher a long time ago, and I had the exact same routine as the students in school. So I had the routine that many of you have. And what I used to do, so I rearranged my my time. I still went to work, so 9 till 3 p.m. And then I would have 3 to 4 hours sleep. As soon as I got home, I prayed my Zohar at school, at work. I'd come home, I'd go to sleep and wake up for Asr. So I'd had 3 hours, 4 hours sleep there. Then I'd stay awake all night, have Sehri, pray Fajr, and I'd sleep right after Fajr. And Fajr was around 4 a.m. So I'd sleep just after Fajr till about 7 a.m. So I'd have another 3 or 4 hours sleep. So I still got my 6 to 8 hours every day, and I was perfectly fine. And all I had to do was rearrange my sleep pattern. So I hope many of you're not going to have to do it this Ramadan. It's unlikely because we're in this lockdown. Maybe it'll be opened again. We don't know. But just remember that you need to make sure you get enough sleep during the fast. And what many of us were doing is after school, we're going to the mosque and studying, and then we're praying Taraweeh, and then we're staying awake for Fajr or getting 1 hour sleep at Sehri time, before Sehri, and you're not getting enough sleep. If you're not going to get enough sleep, then the fast is going to be a lot harder. And then other people will see you fasting and thinking, oh, that's really tough. I don't want to do that. As Muslims, it's very important that we give a good impression to others, especially to people who are not Muslim. And we shouldn't make the fast look so hard. So make sure you get enough sleep so that the image of deen that you give to others is a good image as well. Okay, so make sure you have some control over your time. It's very, very important. Okay, so coming back to time freedom. So we've got geographical freedom, we've got time freedom. Work from wherever you want, work whenever you want. The next one, what was the last one? There was one more left from the 3 that we're going to discuss today. One more left. What is that? Can someone tell me in the comments? So mashallah, wonderful comments. Everyone's participating. Tell me the one more that's left. What's the one more freedom out of the main 3? Because the 4th one is the biggest. When you've got that, you've got all these 3. So we're not going to talk about that today. Wonderful, wonderful. Anyone else? What else is there? And I'm going to make sure that you can see. So you can see. I'm going to write it here. So wonderful. Choice freedom. And this is to be slightly different, to be able to okay, so what do you think the missing words are this time? To be able to something, whatever you want. And this word here, I'm just going to give you a clue. It doesn't mean the highest level of freedom where you can travel everywhere in the world and anywhere in the world. It doesn't mean that. Okay, so what do you think this word is? So good, wonderful. So this word do, to be able to do, and the missing word here, yeah, what do you think the missing word there is? It's very similar to those, wherever, whenever. To be able to do, it's the same ending. Okay, so whatever you want. Now this, to be able to do whatever you want here, I'm going to have to add one thing. It doesn't mean I can literally go and buy a Ferrari. It doesn't mean I can go and travel, spend 4 months traveling the world. It doesn't mean that. It just means you can choose what work you do. You can choose to be a tutor. You can choose to be a first aid trainer. You can choose to do supply teaching. You can choose to do social media managing. You can choose to tell me some other things that you could choose. You can't see the bottom. Yeah, there we are. So to be able to do whatever you want. So yeah, so hopefully you can see it now. It just says to be able to do whatever you want. Now, it doesn't mean at the highest levels where you can absolutely do everything with no limits. It just means you can do whatever you want for work. Okay, so if you want to, you know, do some telephone marketing, or if you want to, you know, start an online business, if you want to do some, you know, email marketing, whatever you want to do. If you want to do some admin for someone and help them with administration work, you can do that. So it just means to be able to do whatever you want for work, okay, within limits, but it's limited. So to be able to do whatever you want, but I'm going to have to put here limited choice, okay. So the unlimited choice comes with the fourth one, but there is some level of choice and freedom in this one. Okay, so hopefully you can all see that now. Okay, wonderful. So now I hope that you've got these three written down. I'm going to be referring to them a lot on this table. Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 seconds to write this down if you've not already. Geographical freedom as a summary: to be able to work from wherever you want, anywhere in the world. Okay. Time freedom: to be able to work whenever you want. 24 hours of the day is in your choice, your control. You can move, you might have one income stream, but you're going to move it from the morning to the afternoon to the evening to the middle of the night. You have that whole freedom to move your work anytime in the clock. Okay, and to be able to, choice freedom is to be able to do whatever you want to do, but there's limited choice. So let's say limited choice means you've got 40 different choices of how to make money. 40 is a lot, you know, that's a lot. The people in a job generally have one. So to have 40 different choices is great, but unlimited choices would be, there's no limit, you know, there's no limit. But 40 is a nice choice. Wonderful. Well, it's a nice amount. So what we've got here is this. Now this is what I want you to do. Okay, I have a table here and we've got different types of jobs or self-employed businesses. Now, who remembers the 4 types of income streams that we've talked about? I think it was my first session, the quadrant, the cash flow quadrant. There was 4 types, 4 ways of making money that I mentioned. Who can remember them? So tell me the first one. What was the very first one? What was the very first one? Starts with an E. Yeah, starts with an E. Who's going to be the first to get? Okay, so we've got passive income, active income. That's excellent. The left half of the quadrant was passive income, active income, sorry. The right side of the quadrant was passive. Excellent. So Mo B07, you got it. Lucky Lavender, you've got it. Shuaib, I mean, you've got it. Employed. Wonderful. The first type of income is employed. So this person is in a full-time job. They're employed. Okay. So we're now going to discuss out of a 10, from 0 to 10, where 10 is they've got 100% geographical freedom. We're going to write 10 there if they've got it. And if they've got absolutely no geographical freedom, we're going to put a 0. We're going to do the same thing for time freedom and the same thing for choice. So before we do that, what's the second one on the quadrant? Who it starts with an S and an E. Who are they? The SEs. The SEs. So who's going to be the first one to answer it? I think someone already has mentioned the keyword Lucky Lavender, but you've not mentioned the full thing. So excellent. Lucky Lavender, you got it. Okay, so wonderful. So self-employed. So many of these here, face-to-face, private tutor, you know, photographer, tour guide, and so on, they're all self-employed. So we're not going to be talking about the big business. You know, it doesn't have to be a big business. It just needs to be a passive business. We're not going to talk about passive business. That's going to go in this 4th column, which we might talk about right at the end. Okay, but we're not going into that right now. And we're not going to talk about the 4th one. What was the 4th one? So I just told you the third. The third was the business, which becomes passive. You have passive income that meets all your expenses, and you can literally walk away if you want to. But what was the fourth one? It starts with an I. So third one's business. First one was employed. Second one was self-employed. Third one was business in the cash flow quadrant. What was the fourth one? It was excellent. For us you're on it. It's investments. Okay, so investing, putting your money into something and making more money as a return. So we're not talking about that today either. Today we're only going to talk about employed and self-employed, because this is what realistically you're going to start with. Your financial journey starts with these two things most of the time. Okay, wonderful. So every time what I want you to do is draw this table. Okay, draw this table. So you've got 10 jobs, businesses. What I might do here is let's put here 10 jobs employed slash self-employed. Okay, so employed, self-employed, ignore the business. So it's a job, it's either employed, self-employed. You're working for yourself or you're working for someone else. Okay, so we've got about 10 or so here, I think 11 including the full-time job. Don't worry if you can't see the bottom, we'll come to that at the end. And we've got geo column, time freedom, and choice freedom column. We've got 3 columns. Now, the first one, what we're going to do is this. I'm going to ask you some questions and I want you to give a number, and we're going to do one by one, but it's really going to make you think outside the box. So a person who's in a full-time job, the first question, what level of geographical freedom do they have? Okay, and let me describe them. So they're in an office. Okay, they work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and the only place that they can do their work is when they go to the office. So give me some numbers. Give me some numbers. So 0 is absolutely nothing, no geographical freedom, and a 10 is absolutely 100%. They can work from wherever they want. Okay, let's see some numbers. All you're gonna have to do today is give lots of numbers. Lucky Lavender, you think 0? Good. Anyone else? Yeah, okay, good. I'll give you a few seconds more. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I have given it a 0. Okay, because they don't have any geographical freedom. They have to be at their office in order to do work. Now, just imagine right now there are many people who can't work because they can't work from home. Okay, if this person could work from home, then I probably would have given them not 0. I probably would have given them something a bit higher. But their employer might not want them to work from home. They want them in the office. But because of this coronavirus, whoever can work from home is going to work from home, and the employers are okay with it. But for this exercise, we're going to say 0. What about time? What level of time freedom do they have? So let's have some numbers. They work from 9 to 5, and they have to go to their office work. They can't stay after. They have to be there at 9 o'clock. If they're not there at 9 o'clock, they might get, told off. Their manager might have to have a one-to-one chat with them for being late. So let's see some numbers. Yeah. So yeah, you're all along the right lines. They don't have much time freedom. Okay, they have to work those hours, and if they need time off, they have to book it off. I remember when I used to work in a call center, and there was I loved everything about the job except the job. So ironic. I liked the people, I liked the food, I liked the manager, the staff, the place, even the shift. I liked everything, but I didn't like the job, but I would recommend everyone work in a customer service role at some point in their life, because it really helps you build a relationship with customers. You learn some social skills as well. So 0, okay, it's in the level of 0. Maybe you could give it a 1, because they might be able to have a little bit of flexibility. I used to be able to book a few hours off here and there. Like Friday, I'd book 4 hours off. So let's see some numbers for choice. So remember, our choice freedom was to be able to do whatever you want, but within limits. So you're working 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. How much time do you have left in the week? Can you do other things on the side? Okay, can you be a private tutor in the evenings? Can you set up your business on the side, you know. So I'm glad to see that there's some numbers above zero now, because yeah, thank you. So Mahzabin Rafi, you think a 3. And to be honest, I originally, when I thought about it, I gave it a 1. But now that I'm talking about it like this, that yes, they still have many. You see, Jack, I think it's Jack Ma, he's the owner of Alibaba. And he says, he's one of the wealthiest billionaires in the world. He says, what you do between 6 and 12 in the evening is what changes your life. And that time just refers to the time after your job, the time after work. So that time you can still go and do your own thing. When you're working for someone else, you're making them money. But when you work for yourself, you're making yourself money. You're changing your life. When you work for someone else, you're making their dream come true. But when you work for yourself, you're making your dream come true. So yeah, I'd give it more than a 1. I would give it in the region of 3. Okay, so I like that. Okay, Zain 11, Rehan Nazreen, thank you so much. Between a 2 and 3, Feroz Aseth, I agree, in the region of 2, 3, because you still have choice. You can leave the job if you want, but you don't have to leave the job. No one ever. Some of these examples, okay? And whilst we're looking at these examples, I want you to, on the side, on another piece of paper, write down other jobs, other self-employed jobs that you can think about, because you're going to need that for later, for yourself, okay? Face-to-face private tutor. I purposely wrote face-to-face because these days we have online tutors. We're not talking about them because their geographical freedom is different to a face-to-face. So face-to-face private tutor, how much geographical freedom do you think they have? Okay, so let me explain it as you think about the numbers. So what do they have to do? They have to go to certain houses. They have to drive there. They have to go there every Monday to do one tuition, every Tuesday to do another. Every Saturday, they might do a few 3-4 hours. So they have to go to certain houses every week and do a certain amount of tuition. They have to go to that house, that place, it's fixed. So what level of geographical freedom do they have? It's got to be higher than 0, because they can go to different houses. And the other reason there's some geographical freedom is if they really want to, they can cancel it as well. So they can say, I'm going to go on holiday, I will reschedule it. So we will reschedule it, which shows that there's a bit of freedom there geographically as well. So it's got to be above 0. They can cancel it. They can do a different one. So the reason it's got to be above 0 is if you don't like the tuition, the kids are really naughty, don't listen, you can cancel it. I hope none of you are like that. You can then choose another one. You know, if you don't want to do tuition in New York, you can go to New Jersey. If you don't want to do it in Manchester, you can do it in Stockport. You can change the locations. So we'd give it as in the region of a 3 and a 4 sounds about right. Okay, wonderful. What about time freedom? So they are working certain times, 5 p.m. It's got to be after school most likely. So the tutor is going to come to your house around 6 p.m., then 7 p.m., then 8 p.m., maybe half an hour gap. So, but again, because they can cancel it and they can reschedule it. Let's say there's a wedding that evening, family wedding. They can say, oh, family, I've got to cancel the tuition. I've got a family wedding. It's fixed. So how about we give it so Yusuf Sef says 5, Sally S says 3, 4. Wonderful. How about we go in between? Give it a 4. So let's give that a 4. What about choice freedom? So Zarina is saying they choose their own hours, but they still have to work because if they take too many breaks, they could get fired. Nice. So Zarina gives it a 6 because they have to work, and if they take too many breaks. And yeah, you're right. Okay, wonderful. So that's true. And the wonderful thing that you're all seeing here by these different numbers is that it ranges. And that's one thing which I really want you to see. It ranges. It depends. But the wonderful thing is there's flexibility. There's the flexibility where when you're in a job, there's very little flexibility. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Choice freedom. Let's talk about, I like color coded, you see. I like things to be certain colors. Okay, choice freedom, face-to-face private tutor. How much choice freedom do they have? So I gave you the clue. This family, I want to cancel it, so I just have to ring and say I'm going to cancel it. But at the same time, if I really like a family and the children, I might commit to them for a whole year. They might say, we want you, but we want you for the whole year. Okay, so you've got to give some commitment. So we're seeing some 6s and 7s now, 5s and 6s. Okay, wonderful. And you've got the choice that's the key word. You've got the choice to cancel it or not cancel it. You've got the choice to go from 5 hours a week to 15 hours a week. 15 hours a week can be a full-time income. In pounds, we would say £30 for an hour, times that by 10, 300. So 15's £450. £450 times 4, £1,800 a month. There's a full-time income from 15 hours a week. And wouldn't you agree, 15 hours a week is a part-time work? So it's great. And if you keep the tuitions next to each other, distance-wise, there's less time of traveling. So I'm going to give it between a 5 and maybe a 6. Okay, 5, 6. Let's look at something more advanced. On the phone, business advisor. So on the phone means you don't even have to travel. You don't have to travel. The reason I put this is because I do it. Tanim does it as well. So we actually do this, and we used to do private tuition a long time ago. So on the phone business advisor, geographical freedom. How much geographical freedom do you think a person has with this? You can literally be anywhere in the world. We've got WhatsApp calls these days. We've got so many apps to make free calls. It doesn't cost anything. We don't have to go get those cards and dial these long numbers anymore. You've probably never seen them, but I have. So yes, I like that. Someone's give it a 10, Mehza bin Rafi. So I would say this does, in terms of geographical only, this is a 10. Okay, it has to be a 10 because you can work from wherever you want, and I could be anywhere in the world as long as we both can fit a time, which goes into that section, that column anyway. But I can be anywhere and my clients can be anywhere. So some of my people I've coached are in Scotland, some of them are in Denmark, some are in America and Canada. So there's people all over the world, and it makes no difference whatsoever. And then I could be somewhere else and they're somewhere else. Okay, time freedom. How much time freedom do you think it gives? So if the nice thing about this compared to being a private tutor is if it's just a phone call, it's a lot easier to reschedule that. We can move it 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it's only one person. When you're a private tutor, you normally have a group of students together, which makes it a little bit harder to reschedule. With a one-to-one, it's a lot easier. Okay, good. So Mehza bin Rafi, we've got a 6, Zakaria 9, 10, 6, 7. And it's good that we've got so many difference of opinions because it's really making you think. Okay, I would give time freedom for a business advisor on the phone. How much time freedom? If I need to cancel it, I can cancel it, move it to tomorrow, move it forward by an hour. If your clients are very flexible with you and you're flexible with them, it's never an issue. But at the same time, you've still got to do it. So I before gave it a 5, but thinking about it now, I think it's higher than a 5. I think Rehan Nazreen is about right. It's in the region of 6, 7, maybe even higher, maybe even an 8, depending on how much flexibility you've got with your customers, with your clients. Yeah, it could even be higher than that. I'd probably even say an 8. It all depends on you. How much flexibility, freedom do you give your customer? They'll give you that flexibility back. And I'm a big believer in giving flexibility to people because then they give me flexibility, because flexibility has always been one of my highest values. I love having flexibility. But that's me. Choice freedom. And all of these are about flexibility. So choice freedom. How much does a on-the-phone business advisor, how much choice freedom do they have? Can they choose their clients? Surely they must be able to. Can they say no or yes? If their client is being aggressive, can they say, look, this is not working out, you'll have to find a new coach, and so on. So how much choice freedom do they have? We've seen 8, 2, 5, 6. So, and again, before I gave it a 6, but now I'm thinking that they have a lot more choice. You know, you can say yes and no to people, but the only reason I gave it a 6, so I gave it a 6, and the reason is that sometimes it's hard to find those clients. So you have to know how to go and market yourself. You have to know how to go and find a client that wants to pay you for your business advice. If you don't know that, if you've only got 3 people that want to pay you, you've only got 3 people. But if you've got 100 people that want you as a coach, then you've got a lot more choice. So you really need to know and learn how to market. And that's the thing that a lot of business advisors don't learn, and that's why they're left with a few people, and then they don't really have much choice freedom. So now what you can see is it depends on the person. If you learn how to make yourself in demand, you'll have 100 people wanting your service. But if you've only got 2 people because you don't know how to create the demand, then you've not got much choice. So that's why I've given it in the region of, let's say, 5, 6. Okay, great. Builder. Okay, so you might have builders in your family. You might have seen builders come to your house. What about a builder? How much geographical freedom do they have? So geographical freedom of a builder. Okay, so a builder is a person who, let's say a plumber, fixes the bathroom toilets, sinks, bathtubs, pipes, and then we've got electricians, you know, all the electrics, and we've got builders like bricklayers and you know, carpenters. All of those trades, they're all very similar. How much geographical freedom do they have? So Mahsabin Rafi, you're saying a 9. So let me describe it a little bit more. To do the plumber's work, you have to go to a particular house when the person is at home, the homeowner is at home, and you've got to go into a specific room as well. So Zarina, everything depends. It all depends on the client. So that shows that there's a little bit less flexibility because it depends on the client. So the number's got to be a bit lower. Okay. Can they work from anywhere in the world? Well, it depends if they've got clients anywhere in the world, but that would mean that they'd have to travel up and down the whole world just to do some work, and I don't think they're going to want to do that. So it's probably going to be in the region of 2 and 3. So lucky lavender, yeah, that's very close. Wonderful. So around the 2, 3. Time freedom. How much time freedom do they have? Well, what I can tell you, and I work with builders because they refurb our, properties, and they do the painting and decorating. Time freedom, sometimes they do a lot of manual. They work with their hands. They do a lot of manual labor, and I've got to give it to them. They do hard work, but they give a lot of time. The time freedom that they have is they can say, I'm doing this job and it's going to take me a week. I'll start your job a week later. That type of time freedom. But generally, if they're not there to do the work, they won't get paid. So their time freedom is not very high. Yeah, it's not very high. Okay, good. So we've got 3s and 4s. So Feroza has been wonderful. We've got 3s, 4s. So let's say it's 3s, 4s. Yeah. What about choice freedom, though? Choice freedom for them is different. They can say that I don't want to do that job. This job's too big for me. Let's say a builder doesn't want to do a roof extension, extension going up in the house. They'll turn it down and say, no, I don't want to do that. But they'll say, oh, kitchen extensions. I like kitchen extensions, so I'm going to do that. Oh, this is an easy job, painting and decorating. Yeah, let's do that. So they've got some choice, okay? But again, if they will have more choice, the more they market themselves, they'll have a lot more choice. TSB, that's a lot of 5s. So they will have a lot of choice only if they market themselves really well. If they don't, then they might have to take the jobs that are coming to them. So again, it comes back to marketing. So I would give the builder in the region of, since TSB said lots of 5s, that's actually the number I would have given them as well. Okay, wonderful. Social media manager. Now, this one is really good for your age generation. Social media manager. Now, there are some new social medias that some of us, my age, we've never even heard of. TikTok, what is that? So, many younger generation people are really, really, really good at doing the social media manager side of things. You can create posts, you can then put them on the different sites, put the different type of post that's relevant for different sites because you understand them. So social media manager, all it is a person who manages the different sites, the different social media sites for a business, and posts the relevant things on those different social medias. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. I think it's a social media thing. So what geographical freedom does the social media manager have? 9 because of Wi-Fi. Yes. So I would say probably even higher than 9, because literally, what do you need to do the social media side of things? All you need is Wi-Fi and a smartphone device, maybe your laptop. So you can work from anywhere in the world. So let's give that a 10. Anywhere in the world. Okay. What about time freedom? Can you do this at any time that you want? Can you work in the middle of the night if you chose? Can you work when the baby's asleep? Can you work in the morning if that's the best time for you? Can you do 10 hours one day and nothing the next day? Yes, I would say so. So a social media manager, I'd give them a high number, but at the same time, bear in mind they have a boss. Even if you're self-employed, you're still working for yourself, but you're getting paid from someone. So you have temporary bosses. So this person who's doing social media, managing for someone else, that boss might say to them, I want you to do this in the next 7 days. So suddenly, what restriction have they got on them? I want you to do this in the next 7 days, a post on this. So they've reduced their time freedom because they've given them a deadline. As soon as you've got a deadline, your time freedom has decreased because you have to fit certain things in within 7 days. You've got complete time freedom when you've got no deadline. Okay. So I would give them a 7 for that reason. They can work from anywhere in the world, but they will almost always have deadlines by the one who they're managing the site for. Okay, wonderful. Last one for them, choice freedom. Okay, so can they work for different people and different businesses that they choose? Yes, they can. You can say no to this company, yes to this company, but do those businesses want you? That's up to you. How good of a marketer you are, how will create the demand. But do they have the choice to say yes or no? You, as a social media manager, you could work for 10 different businesses at the same time, and all you really have to do, go on Facebook, this profile, post something, go on the next profile, post something. And with Facebook, I don't know about the others, you can schedule the posts, so you can set it up to go tomorrow at 8 a.m. and then the day after and the day after. So you can schedule them, so you can do all your posts for one business, schedule them for the next month, and then do the next one tomorrow and the next one tomorrow. So choice wise, yes, it's quite high, I would say. So I have given it a 7 as well. So I'm going to give them, and we've got 7s and 8s. Lucky Lavender, Rehana, Sabine, thank you so much. Supply and demand. Shuaib, you're right. Exactly. It's all about supply and demand. And we have to be good at creating the demand for ourselves. When you're self-employed, that's what you need to really be good at. How do I create the demand for me? For my service. So this is the reason why it depends. Okay, good. So let's give that a 7. Photographer. Okay, if you've got Instagram, which I don't have because it's just too much imagery, but if you've got Instagram, photographs, okay, you can sell photographs that you take and get paid for them. There are websites that pay you for your photographs. So geographical freedom, it's a tricky one. I'm going to tell you that. Why is geographical freedom for a photographer? Why is it tricky? Now, Rehana and Nazreen, you've already said a 9. Look, Lavender, you've said 9. I'm going to ask you this question, and hopefully it'll make you think why it's not a 9. If you're a photographer and you want to take pictures of natural scenery, what do you have to do? You have to travel to the natural scenery. You've got to go and travel to the sea to take a picture of the sea. You've got to go and travel to different forests to take a picture of forests. You've got to go and you've got to wait for the sun to come out to have a nice blue sky. So there's a less time freedom there. But you've got to travel. You have to travel wherever you want to take a picture. You've got to go there. The freedom you have is that you can go wherever you want, but the fact is you have to go to lots of different places. So therefore your geographical freedom's decreased. Okay. I hope that makes sense, because normally when you think of a photographer, you think, oh, they can travel anywhere. And yes, that's right, but it goes down as well. Okay, so no, it's not the time. Photographer, let's see, I have given it a 3. Okay, I've given it a 3, and that's because they have to travel to all these different places. So they don't have as much freedom as you might think. The only time when it goes up is when you make it a little side business. So let's say I'm going on a holiday anyway. Let's say I'm going to Egypt. If I'm going to go to Egypt and I'm going there for a holiday, why don't I just take pictures of everything and then just put it on my social media page and let people know what I'm doing, and then sell something, sell the holiday of Egypt, become an affiliate for the same holiday that you've been on, and tell people, this is the holiday I'm on. If you want to do it, here's my link. You can book it, and you'll get a commission for it, 10%. Let's say it's £400 holiday. Anyone who buys that, you get £40. So you just take pictures of where you went. Let's say 100 people bought it. If you've got a large following, 100 people bought it, £40 times 400, you've just made £4,000 from your holiday. So that's quite a powerful concept. There's many people doing that. So hopefully I've just given you a business idea. Okay, wonderful. How much time freedom do they have? How much time freedom does the photographer have? So I'm just going to look at what I've written. For a photographer, time freedom, they have to go everywhere. They have to travel. They have to wait for the sun to come out if they want the sun. So 5, 6s, wonderful. Zachary said a 3. Hadia Khatri said 9. Lucky Lavender 7. So let's see. I'm going to give you some clues. If they want the sun, they have to wait a certain time. If they want the sunset, they've got to wait for the sunset. If they want it to be busy, so there's lots and lots of people, they've got to wait for this coronavirus to disappear because there's not going to be any pictures that you can take with lots of crowds until the coronavirus goes. So they've got to wait. So therefore, they don't have a lot of time freedom. They have to wait for the right picture at the right moment. So their time freedom's a little bit less. It's on the lower side. But again, like I said before, if you're just going to take pictures of what you're already doing, then the moment will come to you, and that's great. Make it a side thing, but it's quite hard to make photography your main thing. Okay, most photographers that I know of, that I've heard of, that I've read about, struggle. The few that do it really well, They've got a really good strategy in place, and it's something that you've got to be really good at. To be the best at something which is difficult, like art. There's not many people who make it in the art world. There's not many people who make it in the photography world. You've got to really have a unique niche and know your market really well. But that's not our topic today. Okay, choice freedom. How much choice freedom does the photographer have? They get the camera out and take a picture whenever they want? Yes, they can. Can they take a picture of what they want? Yes, they can. So it's got to be a little bit higher than 3. Anyone? What kind of number would you give a photographer when it comes to a choice freedom? Like, everyone's got a camera on their phone these days, so everyone has the choice to take pictures if they want or not, and all our cameras these days are quite good. Okay, so I would say, yeah, most people can be, as a photographer, you have a lot of choice. It's probably higher than a 7 because you've got a lot of choice. So, and you can sell your pictures. After this, I would recommend you all go and find out how you can sell your pictures. I mean, it's a great thing, easy thing to be able to do. So Zarina, you've said they have to take a picture to cater their audience. That's right. So that's why they've got to have a good eye, look for the moment, have the right lighting. Okay, wonderful. Tour guide. Okay, I want to skip some of these now because I really want to come to some of the others. I'm going to give you the numbers, actually. So for a tour guide, I'm going to give you the numbers. I am going to say, for a tour guide, you've got to be at that place. Okay, so it has to be really low. It's going to be a 1. Okay, because you have to be at that place every time. The ones I really want to come to are these ones. Okay, and there's a reason. Okay, so time freedom for a tour guide, I've given them a 2 because they don't have a lot of time freedom. The tour happens at a certain time, so they have to be there at that time. And even when it comes to a choice, I've given the tour guide choice as really low because it only happens certain times, and it might happen once a day, it might happen twice a day, and so they've got the choice to, they don't have the choice to do lots of different tour guides. If they're in Spain, then they can only do the tours in that area, because then they have to travel so far to do another one, so they don't have a lot of choice. The people who do tour guides, though, they must love it. If you really love a country, let's say Morocco, you love Morocco, then being a tour guide in Morocco would be a wonderful thing. You might not have a lot of geographical freedom, time freedom, or choice freedom, but you love to do what you do, and that's why they do it. So even if these numbers are low, if you really love doing what you're doing, it's okay. If you love your job, even though the numbers are low, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. As the first thing I said was, when your vocation meets your vacation, you won't work a single day in your life. If you love what you're doing, you don't need to change it. But the only question I would ask you is, what about the day when that job or that self-employed work doesn't need you? Yeah, you have to prepare for that day, because there will come a day when that job doesn't need you, like the coronavirus right now. Many businesses are protecting themselves and letting their employees go because they have to protect their business. So these people might love their jobs, but their job doesn't love them enough to save them. They have to save the business first. So it's a thing to think about. Writer, blogger, how much geographical freedom does the writer blogger have? Yeah. So let's see. So some numbers for the writer and the blogger. How much do they have? Can they write from anywhere in the world? The answer is yes, they can. So let me see what kind of number. Zain said it. Well, that's for a different answer. Zarina, wonderful. Yep. Look, Lavender, 8s and 10s. I would say you can write from anywhere in the world. Even when you're traveling on a plane, you can be writing and blogging. Okay, you can't upload it without Wi-Fi, but you can work from anywhere in the world. What about time freedom? Can you write and blog at any time of the 24 hours? I think yes, you can. You can almost write any time. Okay, you can be writing an article about what I'm saying here, and then you can post that. It's your own content. It's yours. Okay, so 10, choice. Can they write about anything that they want? Can they write about the food that they've had? I mean, there are people that travel the world, eat different things, and experience different places, and just write about it, and people follow them and read their article, all because they like to know about these different places in the world. And what is that person doing? Writing about the different food that they've ate in different places in the world. Okay, so yes, they have a lot of choice freedom. So look at that. A writer and a blogger has a lot of geographical freedom, time freedom, and choice freedom. I can't think of a reason to make it less. But do they have the fourth one, which we're not going to talk about today? That's the question. Okay, otherwise you'd all be thinking we should all be writers and bloggers. Okay, good. Web designer. What about web designer? Can you do that from anywhere in the world? Can you design websites anywhere in the world? Okay. Any numbers? Web designer. Can you design websites from anywhere in the world? And I would say, as long as you got a computer and internet, yes, you can. Okay, so that's high as well. Can you work anytime on the website? Now, I previously gave it a 10. You can work anytime, but if you would normally have someone you're designing the website for, what would they normally give you? It starts with a D. I said it before. They would normally give you what is it? It can't be a 10 because of this. And it's probably the same with the writer and the blogger. It may not be a 10 because of this. What's the word? Excellent, Zarina. It's a deadline. Okay, so you might have a deadline from the person you're making the website for. So therefore, it can't be 100% time freedom. If you're writing a blog, you're doing that for you. So it's completely in your hands, and unless you're writing a blog for someone else. So web designer, 9, excellent. They still have a lot of time freedom. What about choice freedom? Can they choose the different people that are businesses that they design websites for? Yes, they can. But again, it comes back to supply and demand. If you create demand for your services, 100 people will want you, and you can choose the 5 that you want. But if you don't make yourself known, then you might have 3 people that want you, but you need 5 people to make enough income. So you're going to have to say yes to all of them. So choice freedom, again, as normal, it depends. So let's give it a 9, because you have a lot of choice who you work for, who you design, but you have to create the demand for yourself. And that's for another day. How do you do that? Okay, e-commerce. What does e-commerce mean? If it's new word to you, then it's good. You're going to learn what this means. E-commerce just means, can anyone tell me in the comments, what does e-commerce refer to? E-commerce. E has to stand for something. You know what? What does the E stand for in e-commerce? Because it doesn't stand for online. E-commerce refers to online selling. It stands for online selling. It refers to selling online. But the E, I don't know what that stands for. So hopefully, electronic, and Rehan and Nazreen, excellent. That must be the right word. Like eBay, electronic bay. What else has an E at the beginning? So E must be the electronic. Email, electronic mail. Excellent, wonderful. Okay, so we use it so often we forget what the words mean. Okay, geographical freedom, e-commerce. Can you, on Amazon and eBay, can you work from anywhere in the world? You just need a laptop and an internet connection. I've give it a 10. Okay, a 10. Wonderful, because you can work with Amazon. You don't even need packages coming to your house. They do the whole packaging for you in their warehouses and so on. You can get your own branding done, and they put your branding, your labels, your name on the package as well. So time freedom. Can you work in the middle of the night if you chose to? Can you work in the morning? Can you work longer one day and nothing the day after? Yeah, you can. So time freedom, I've given it a 10 as well. What about choice freedom? Can you choose to sell one thing on Amazon and eBay, or 5 things? Can you choose to go into the baby market or the teen market or the phone market? Can you choose to sell house related items like these pens, for example? Can you choose to sell gifts for girls and boys? You can choose anything. So you've got a lot of choice freedom when it comes to e-commerce. You can choose anything. But I love it, Nazreen. You've mentioned, Rehana, Nazreen, supply and demand. That's part of the research. It's part of the research stage. Sell the thing that there's a demand for. If you sell something that there's no demand for, no one's going to buy it. Okay, wonderful. Like, look at this little gadget I've got. It's wonderful. You put it on your laptop, clips on, put it on your phone, and it brightens up. I don't know if it works really well on this laptop, but a small item like that, someone invented it. Now it's in demand. Loads of people are buying it. Okay, so last one is, and I'm going to just pull it up. The last one is a YouTube your interest. YouTube your interest. So if your interest is, someone mentioned the other day, training dogs how to not bark at people. That there's a demand for that, because there's a lot of people out there with dogs that bark at people. So there's a market for that. You could teach that. Now, maybe none of you have dogs. Let's say you've got cats, potty training cats. I know Tanim has 2 amazing cats, and they go to the toilet. They've got their own toilet, and they go there. So how to train your cats to be potty trained? I mean, there's a market for that. So your interest might be like, look at the children's YouTube channels. They're booming. It's the only one that I've seen not billions of views, not millions, billions. Some of the baby channels have billions of views. I mean, that's phenomenal. Billions of people have watched it. So how much geographical freedom do you need to make a YouTube channel? Do you need a lot? You just need to be at home. You can do it with your laptop. You can make YouTube videos with your phone. I watched, this is amazing. A lot of people don't know how to cut their own hair. So there was a video on how to cut your own hair. And I cut my own hair the other day before I watched the video. And my brother likes it. Now he wants me to cut his hair. So there's a demand. People are showing you how to cut your own hair, because right now everyone's in isolation. All the barbers are closed. So you can teach anything. As long as you know how to market it, people will watch it. Okay, wonderful. Time freedom. Can you do the YouTube videos anytime? I mean, this YouTube video is different. We've got it live. We've got interaction. But if it was a video where I'm just going to record it and then upload it, I could do it at any time. Okay, so I'm going to give it a 9, 10, only because of the YouTube lives. You want to do it at a certain time when everyone can participate. But if you're going to upload the video, then it's a 10. And choice freedom. Can you choose absolutely anything? Dog, stopping dogs from barking, cats from potty training, and all sorts. Yes. Okay, so I've given that a 10. Now, hopefully that activity is going to make you realize that when you choose your job or your self-employed, service, your work, you're going to think about time freedom, geographical freedom, and choice freedom. Geographical time and choice, you're going to think about those three, because you can design your life the way you want it. You can live your life the way you want to live it if you keep these three things in mind. And then you can actually be, I'm going to say this sentence, but I'm going to change it as well. Then you can be happy. But at this, why is that not complete? Because I talked about the reality of happiness in one of the other videos. Even if you've got these three, you ultimately won't be truly happy and at peace, because you need more things to be at peace. You need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your life. You need a spiritual connection with Allah. And without that, you can have all these out of 10. You can have all the passive incomes, but you still won't be happy and at peace. So, but this having time freedom, choice freedom, geographical freedom does make people happy. It doesn't make them permanently at peace, but it does bring some element of happiness. And these things are more important to a lot of people than having lots of money. Or you only have to ask someone who's made a lot of money but has no time to see their partner, no time to see their children. You only have to ask them, would they choose more money or more time? And they almost all will say, I want more time in my life. I don't need more money. I need more time. Ask the person on their deathbed, do you want more time or more money? And they will say more time. I've heard millionaires say that the highest commodity in this world is time. The high commodity means like something that's got value. The highest thing that has value is time, because it's always running out and it's never increasing. Your bank balance for time is always going down. Your bank balance for money can go up. So time freedom is a great thing, because your time is your life. Okay. The last thing I want to leave you on is, what is financial freedom? The last column, financial freedom. We talked about it at the beginning. I think it was our first video. What is financial freedom? The first level of it, just the first level one. Can someone write in the comments and tell me, what is financial freedom? We've talked about geo, time, and choice, but not financial freedom. And I'm going to say that the financial freedom level one gives you all three of these. It gives you all three of these. So, but never go for financial freedom first. Go for these three first, because it's much more realistic to have these three, and then you can work towards the last one. Anyone remember what is financial freedom? And I will start it and I'll write it. So I'm going to write it here, financial freedom. And I'm just going to write FF. To have, being your own boss. Being your own boss gives you some freedom, but you'll still have geographical, time, and choice freedom, some of those, but it's not the definition of financial freedom, level one. But a good try, Zarina, a good try. Financial freedom to have, and this is level one, okay? To have at least one make sure you write this down. Okay. To have at least one something income that meets all your expenses. One, wonderful. So Mo BO7, you've got it. Anyone else? Okay. You have to have at least one passive income. Okay. Passive, we're not going to talk about in detail now, but passive income is where you've set something up a business up, you've automated it, you've made it automatic now, and the money keeps coming in every month. You still have to do a little bit of work, but it's so small compared to the other three, because it's never really fully passive. There's always a little bit of work, but that work is minimal. So to have at least one passive income that meets all your expenses, if your expenses are all paid, that's level one. And just think of that. If all your expenses are paid, you really don't have to work. At that point, you don't have to work, which means your geographical freedom is going to be a 10, because you can work from anywhere in the world now, because you've got passive income to meet all your expenses. You don't have to worry about the gas bill, the electric bill, the phone bill, the TV bill. You don't have to worry about anything bills wise, because the passive income just comes. So you can travel the world now if you want to. So you've got geographical freedom. With financial freedom, one passive income, you've got time freedom, because you can, if you want to work, you can work. And if you don't want to work, you don't have to work. And if you want to work all day and night doing something, you can. And if you don't want to do anything, you don't have to. Because you've got passive income that meets all your expenses, you've got complete time freedom, 10 out of 10. And choice freedom, if you've got one passive income at least, you can choose to do another one and another one and another one. You can choose to search for all the different things out there. You can choose to start a new business, and you can choose to do charity all you want. You can choose to help your elderly parents. You can choose to help the NHS. You can choose to do anything, because all your bills are met. So look at that. Financial freedom level one passive income gives you the 10 out of 10 geographical freedom, 10 out of 10 time freedom, and 10 out of 10 choice freedom. So what a wonderful thing if you have that. But remember, the general path is going to be, you start with these ones first. Start with these ones first, and that one will come later. But at least your mindset is now, with this session, it's going to start you on a path, on a journey. And this knowledge has become available to you, you've become aware of it. And now when you look in the world at different jobs, you'll look at them in a different way. And hopefully that's going to be very positive. It's going to improve your life. It's going to give you life. Okay. So on that note, I'm going to give you a task to do. And I hope you do this task. What I want you to do is the exact same template as you've got here. So a job, self-employed, employed, geographical, time and choice freedom, make 3 columns, but you're going to do it on your own. You can do it with your family members that are in your house, brothers, sisters, whoever you live with. You can do it with your parents as well. And I want you to make up a list of 10 jobs or self-employed jobs that are not on here, that you're going to think of. So it might be a carpenter, or it might be a traffic warden, or it might be a police officer, something else that's not on here. Okay. And then I want you to give them the numbers and discuss it with your family members, give them the ratings, and just do that task. And it's really going to solidify, strengthen your understanding of time freedom, geographical freedom, and choice freedom. So wonderful. On that note, I would like to finish this session, and I thank you so much for your participation. And if you really did benefit from this session, feel free to like, share, comment. You've done loads of comments. Tell others about it. And alhamdulillah, I've really enjoyed I've really enjoyed your interactions. All of you that have interacted, I can't thank you enough. You've made the session a wonderful session to teach. I've really enjoyed it. So thank you so much. Jazakallah, and wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to those of you who have said salam. Those of you who haven't, then my salam to all of you as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.